hello, good morning. My name is Lee Cara, and this is Unleash Your Light right here at the Akashic Academy. It is Thursday, July 5th, you guys. We are headed right into the middle of summer. I hope everyone out there has been having a fabulous week. If you're here in the States, I hope you had an amazing 4th. I hope you celebrated independence, liberty, freedom, and remembered what that was all about. I know if you're in this country, some of us are wondering. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to make sure that I'm live. I'm going to share out with a few of my friends. I hope you'll share out with a few of your friends on this Thursday morning. Let's see here now. Oh, there I am. Hello, hello. Good morning, my mama bear. Hello to anyone out there. Good morning, Tanya. Make sure you say hello. Make sure you check in with me. Let's take just a minute to share. Yeah, so we're going to talk about, hi, Wendy. Hi, Rena. Welcome. Everybody make sure that you join Rena at noon today. She does the Rainbow Bridge right here on the Akashic Academy. So she'll be on after me. We're going to talk about self-awareness today. And do you practice mindfulness? Is that a thing in your life that's important to you? Hello, Andrea. Welcome. Is that a thing in your life that's important to you? Mindfulness, being in the moment, trying to take your life a little bit more slowly. Good morning, Sharon. Welcome. Mindfulness is something that's so important. And we have Coach Nick on the Inside exclusive group, and he does Mindful Mondays, where he talks about mindfulness. He talks about strategies and that sort of thing. And you can join the secret group by going to the website, which I'll talk about at the end of the half hour here. But there's a step past mindfulness. There's a step past paying attention to what's going on. Self-awareness. I look at mindfulness as being in this moment, making a note of where you are. All right, we're good. Making a note of where you are right now, kind of like feeling yourself, feeling your situation, kind of figuring out what's my emotion right now. Am I having an odd emotion? What's kind of going on right now? But self-awareness is taking that to the next level. It's not about just being aware of the fact that, oh, there's a new emotion coming in. It's about taking that mindfulness about the emotion and taking it to a level where we're making a note, identifying it, digging down into it, really like a detective. I always refer to Scooby and the Gang because, well, I was born in 1970. So Scooby-Doo was on, cartoons all the time. But, you have to be like Scooby and the Gang. It's not enough just to be aware and mindful of where you are, of what's going on. That's beautiful. And that's a good step. And if that's, the place that you're at, start moving forward a little bit. Start pushing it down the road a little bit more. There we go. I want to make sure I can see everybody over there. Start pushing it down the road a little bit more. So you're practicing mindfulness. What do you guys do out there? Definitely put it in the comments, because there's a lot of people who are going to be watching this on the replay who maybe are just at the beginning of their journey. That's why a lot of people come to the Akashic Academy, is because they are new on their journey. So for those of you who've been on the road for a little while, let's help everyone out. Put a couple of comments about what you do to practice mindfulness, and maybe how you take that to the next level, how you level up. I have kids that are gamers, so for me, it's always leveling up when something like that happens, So being self-aware is taking that mindfulness, really pinpointing what the heck is going on here. What is this emotion that's happening? What are these words coming out of my mouth? And being able to then apply those in your own, whether you use meditation or your own quiet moments, those moments when you turn inwards and you start really examining you. You are the most amazing thing. And too many of us kind of walk around not knowing what the heck's in my mind, I don't have any control over that. I don't get to say anything. I don't, it just all comes out. I have no control over what I think or what I feel. Absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. When you're thinking these thoughts, these full sentences, these things, either about yourself or about others, if you find yourself getting worked up, if you're thinking this diatribe in your mind about, oh my God, I always make so many mistakes, I'm so ridiculous, or maybe you're thinking, what's wrong with these people? Why is that person so slow? Or why can't they do things? Why can't they understand me? What the heck is going on? Why does this always happen to me? When you're in those moments, who do you think is creating those thoughts? It's you. Who do you think you're talking to? Welcome, Beverly. Welcome, Alexandra. Who do you think you're talking to in your mind? You're talking to you. You're talking to you. Our lifetime creates almost a dual personality, maybe sometimes more than that. I know in my case, I was a little Sybil about it, but it creates these two separate entities where you have this personality at the front, right? That's created from the suffering and the pain and the trauma and the defensiveness and all of the things that you go through, right? In our lifetime that tarnish our beautiful light, okay? But that also teach us. Good morning, Lemuria. And then we have the observer. The observer, the divine part of us, that being that rides along with us all the time, that is integrated with us in our human, in our mortal. Pinch. Thank you, Rena. I appreciate that. So we have these two different places, right? And I've told this story many times, but Eckhart Tolle told a story about how, good morning, Tamara. Good morning to whoever's from the Akashic Academy. Eckhart Tolle has told the story about how he, my co-host, how he was angry with someone at the beginning of his journey and he was really giving it to them and meh, And then he kind of like in his mind, he's still yelling in the front. And then he stepped back for a minute and was like, what the heck am I doing? Hi, Emily. Mwah! Our director, everyone. Yay, round of applause. Then he stepped back from that for a moment. And he was like, what am I doing? Screaming and yelling like a crazy person at this person that I love so much. And he realized, if I'm sitting back and watching, who's doing the yelling? Who's the one in the front doing the yelling? Oh, good morning, Crystal. Yay. What a good way to start the day. That's true. Who's doing the yelling? If I'm sitting back watching, being horrified, right? It's those two distinct personalities that we have. Hello, Joe Fox. Two distinct personalities almost that are coexisting within our physical body. And so when we look at these emotional situations, when we're self-aware about these emotions that go passing through us, good morning, Rudolph, that go passing through us and that we're acting on, right? And maybe saying things to others, saying things to ourselves that we would maybe not say out loud, or that if we would say out loud, we would regret, right? We're talking to ourselves. Good morning, Beverly. We're talking to ourselves. We are the ones in control. So when you think to yourself, well, that's just how I feel. That's just how I say. I don't have any control. I'm just being real. It's just popping out of my mouth and I can't control how I think, how I talk, how I feel. You absolutely are. And that's self-awareness. That's self-awareness. Even if at first all you can do is go, holy guacamole, why am I saying all these things? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how horrible I was to myself. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Make a note for later. If you're not in that spot where you can immediately go whoop and pull yourself back and shift that behavior in the moment, make a note for later. Why did I get so mad about this? Why was I saying such horrible things to myself? Why was I saying such a horrible thing to them? Why did I get so mad? Why did I get so jealous? Why did I get so upset? Anything that provokes a strong reaction in us is an unhealed spot, is something that we need to pay attention to. Even if we don't understand why, even if we don't quite get what the heck? Like, I was never this way. I was never that way. I never had a problem with this. See, the roots of these problems are dug in deep, but the vines crawl up like tendrils into every part of our lives, into every moment, into every painful thing we're going through. Absolutely. They come up into us, and we need to be aware. We need to pay attention. We need to be thinking about these things. Now, I'm not saying think about everything you say and do and make sure it's precise. We don't want to come across like we're rigid. We don't want to come across like we're rehearsed, or that these things, like we have a script that we have to stick to. And I'm also not saying to ignore your feelings. If you're feeling like you need to yell at someone in that moment and you're not at the point where you're able to handle that in a different way, have at it, because you're going to learn from that. You're going to learn from these things that you make notes of, that you're paying attention to. You are going to see those parts of you that you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I was still holding on to that time that Uncle Dave's did X, Y, and Z to me. Oh my gosh, I had no idea I was still upset about that time I got bullied in the girls' bathroom in 7th grade. Oh my gosh, I never realized that the reason I think no one's listening to me is because when I was a little kid, they used to tell me nobody wants to hear what you have to say. These are the moments when you notice that separation of the divine being that's in you and that person, that personality that's been created by your life. These are the moments that give you the most growth. These are the moments where our lessons come in, where we recognize these patterns of behavior and where we can break the habits of those patterns. To put it in a super simple way, the way that we react to things is a habit. And it's formed from years and years and years of reacting the same way. Absolutely, Tamara, embrace your emotions. Because they love you. And they're there to help us. And it's kind of the whole point of our existence, is to go through these things, to learn from these things, to allow the pain and the suffering and the trauma within ourselves and within the world to shift our hearts, to shift our minds, so we can shift the frequency that's out there through our own transformation. The lives within us, the space within us is a microcosm of the macrocosm. It's like taking the world and shrinking it down and putting it right inside of you, right inside of your brain. We've shrunk down what's happening in the world, and we've placed it right inside of ourselves, because the world is a reflection of that world within us. And so when we're self-aware of what's going on within us, then you can start to shift it. Then you can start to change those habits. Then you can say, oh my gosh, every time somebody challenges me, I get defensive and mad immediately and lash out. Why do I do that? Okay, I do that because X, Y, Z. Now you've dug in, right? Now you've figured it out. You Scooby-Dooed it. You climbed down the vine. You dug out the root. But it still might be a habit to react with those strong words, to react with those strong actions, to react in anger. What we want to do is make you self-aware not only of the emotions, but of your behavior of the things that you do externally as well. And a lot of us think that we do that. A lot of us think that we're paying attention. We think, oh, I'm a nice person. I'm being nice to people. There's more to it than that. Because it's not just the words that are coming out of your mouth, the thoughts that are running through your brain, because those are a habit too. The things that you think are like ruts in the road, and your wheels on your journey go automatically into those ruts, into those places where it feels like your vehicle rolls the fastest, right? Where it goes the easiest. That's cool, Rita. But having your vehicle roll in the easiest spot is not the best way to get to where you're going. Because if you know anything about dirt roads, once there's a rut formed and your wheel sticks in it, it's real hard to roll out of those ruts. It's real hard to get yourself turned into a different space. We get stuck in these habits. We get stuck in these places that we have formed with a lifetime of feeling that way and acting that way. Oh, Sarah, my goodness. Sarah says she gets angry a lot since she had a heart attack and her personality changed. I'm sure it does, because it affects your brain. I mean, it's about the electricity going zap, 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 zap in your brain, in your heart, in your whole systems. But that electricity in our brain is super powerful. And I know we have people here who can reach out to Sarah and offer her some help. Because even I truly believe, and I'm just at the beginning of my journey on this, but our physical situations can be affected by the light that's within us, by the electricity that dwells within us, by the energy that we have, right? So I've always been very much on the fence about it, because I feel sometimes that when we say those sort of things, it puts the blame on the person who's sick. And we definitely don't want to do that, you know. But being aware of those moments when it affects our behavior, paying attention to that might be able to help a little bit, might be able to help you shift. And not only that, but using some of the people that are in here, having them reach out to you, or you reaching out to them, might be able to help you with that frequency, with that vibration. So much love to you, Sarah. So much healing. Everybody send Sarah healing. Sarah, you're going to get hundreds of people sending you healing after this video within the next couple of days. Being self-aware, shifting those patterns, paying attention to the things we're saying, the things we're thinking. You know, I started a little thing back in I guess about a year ago. And I was asking people to really, just for 3 minutes, to really think nice things about themselves, to be 100% positive, to pay attention, and to really just shower themselves with love, right? Because through self-awareness, what's our ultimate goal? Unconditional love of self. Because when we love ourselves unconditionally, when we love ourselves in that way, where we embrace all the faults, we are literally embracing the divine within us. We are integrating the divine with the human, with the pain, with the suffering, with that other personality. And as we give it a hug, as we embrace that divinity, as we embrace everything that is us, without judgment, without conditions, unconditional, without conditions, as we love ourselves in that deep, deep way, what happens is we are literally embracing the I am within us. We are embracing the God energy and integrating ourselves with it. It becomes a part of our everyday life. It becomes a part of our thinking. When we are aware of what seems like the observer, we can shift ourselves into that position all the time. And as we shift ourselves, as we change ourselves, I know you guys all know this, that when the things on the inside change, hi Kathy, when the things on the inside change, the things on the outside start to change too. When your thought patterns change, when the way that you see yourself changes, the things around you start to change too. When you start to exhibit that unconditional love of yourself within, then it starts to spread to what manifests around you, because others are a reflection of you. And so, as I said, the world is a macrocosm of a microcosm. And so what's going on in you is what you're painting in your world. What's going on in our mass consciousness is what's being painted on our planet. And this is how we, as those who are awake, as those who consider themselves light workers or aware or empaths or whatever it is that you like to call yourself. There's so many different different ways to practice spirituality. That's why it's up to us to make the changes within. That's why it's up to us to spread this to as many people as we can. So when we love ourselves unconditionally, the frequency around us changes. The things around us change. Oh goodness, love to Tammy, healing to Tammy's mom, everybody. The things around us start to shift and change because we're changing within ourselves. Because that changes the frequency. That attracts different things into our life and different people into our life and different experiences and new lessons. I talked last week about persistence and being a light in the darkness, determination. When you first start out on this journey of mindfulness and self-awareness, it can be hard. It can be hard, and it'll seem like you are just walking in darkness. It will seem like you are not making any headway. It'll seem like things happen to you over and over again. Boom, 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 boom. But it does get easier. Staying in that moment, feeling those emotions, being aware of them, time traveling backwards to shift the ending, following the vines down, yanking at the roots, mwah, kissing them, throwing them away. All of these things and whatever else it is that you like to do to shift your perspective on things and to change your thinking. All of those things can help you on your journey, and they allow more light into your life. Good morning, Teresa. Mwah. They allow more light into your life. The road doesn't seem as dark. Your wheels won't seem like they're so stuck and mired in the muck and the mud and the ruts. But the key to all of it is paying attention. That's self-awareness. Those moments that we see our own behavior, that we hear the words we're saying out loud, and that we hear the things that we're saying inside our mind. Good morning, Norma. As I said, I went through a kind of a campaign, maybe like a year ago, 8 months ago. Good morning, April. And I asked people to be really aware of their thoughts and to say nothing but nice things about themselves for 3 minutes at a time throughout their day, or in meditation, or in those moments when you're just sitting watching TV or shopping or even driving a car. And one of my friends was talking to me about how difficult it was. I said, if you say something mean, you have to start over. So that way you get 3 full minutes of nothing but love showering you from yourself. From yourself. And she was telling me how difficult that was and how she had to start over like 10 times. And how the things, she was like, oh my God, I never realized how many times I say something horrible to myself, how many times I'm mean to myself, how many negative things I actually say to myself in just the stretch of 3 minutes. Being self-aware for those 3 minutes gave her an insight into herself that she didn't even realize. We'll block him out from licking himself, right? He's back there cleaning. It allowed her to see something within herself that she wasn't even quite aware was there. And it can do the same for you. Self-awareness can really give you an insight into what the heck is going on in your brain. It's not enough just to be mindful. Mindfulness is beautiful, and it's the first step, and it's something you can do throughout. Because when you're able to dig out these little running narratives of negativity within yourself, man, your mindfulness can flow much better because you can just enjoy being in the moment. You can just be sitting and like aware of what's going on around you. The feeling of the cushion under you and the sun coming in. You can be able to see these things so clearly. They go hand in hand, mindfulness and self-awareness. But in the semantics of the way that I say things, self-awareness takes you underneath that next level, digs you into those emotions. because that's where you find the treasure. That's where you find those things that are going to shift you, even though they hurt. Oh my God, they can hurt to start seeing these things and feeling these things and digging them up. But I know you can do it. I know that you're aware enough. I know that you have the persistence and the determination. I know that you can unleash your light. It's a choice. It's a choice to be self-aware. It's a choice to pay attention to what we say. It's a choice to decide, I'm driving the bus. I'm going to be the one who's thinking the thoughts, as the observer, as the one who's connected to divine, as the one who loves myself unconditionally, shining bright from the self-validation and from that connection that we have to that divine essence that it comes from within. Good morning, Georgia. I'm going to be the one who drives that bus, who mends that disconnect between the external self and the internal self. I'm going to be the one who's working on loving myself unconditionally and embracing that divine essence that's in me so that I can integrate with the great I am, so that I can embody unconditional love internally and externally throughout my day. And that doesn't mean you have to be all hippy dippy, love and light all the time and Pollyanna walking around with daisies and handing them to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I mean. I just mean having this self-confidence and this self-love and understanding people's motivation, understanding their intentions, forgiving them for giving into their pain and their suffering in the moment that it happens. When you start to shift the way that you see yourself, you start to shift the way you see everyone, because we're all connected and they're all reflections of us. So when we see someone acting out, we can look at that and go, that's triggering me because XYZ, self-awareness. It allows us to see the lessons and to process them so much more quickly, so much more easily, so much more deeply when we do this. Each of you is amazing, and each of you has an important mission in this awakening, in what's to come. That's way above my pay grade, so I don't freaking know what's to come, but I do know something big is coming. Yes, Crystal. Mwah. So much love to Crystal, everybody. Everybody send healing to Crystal too. I love this. We're all here for each other. We're all connected in this. We're all going through this together. Together. And I feel Crystal's pain. And hopefully Crystal feels my love. Because we're all connected. We all have a piece of that same amazing energy, that same divine essence in us. We are individualized expressions of a pluralized energy that people call God. And it chose to ride with you. And we're all connected through that. And we feel each other's pain and we feel each other's experiences. This is an amazing community here at the Akashic Academy. If you're watching this somewhere else, if you're watching this out in some of the groups that this was shared in or on one of your friends' walls, come over and check us out. We support each other here. We love each other. And we're trying to change the world, right? One person at a time. Hi, Jean. Thanks for sending Crystal love. Each of us has a mission. And that mission is to shift ourselves, is to embody that love every day, because that's what changes the world, is each one of us, each drop from the ocean. All right, I'm going up against my time here. I will be sitting on my couch right after this within the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to talk more about self-awareness. I'm going to talk about loving yourself unconditionally. I'm going to talk about, I get informal on my couch. So who knows what the heck I'll talk about. If you have any questions, you can certainly join me there. My name is Lee Cara, and I have lots of room for friends. You can friend me or follow me. All my stuff is public. You don't even have to do that. You can stalk on the sidelines if you want to. You can always find me at unleashyourlight.org. I have I have a group and I have a page, both called Unleash Your Light. On my website, you can get copies of both of my books, PDF copies, for free. There's also a digital copy of the first one available for 99 cents if you prefer to read it in a Kindle or an ebook, or one of those little reader program things. I don't know a lot about that stuff. But you can get a free PDF copy. One of them's 30-something pages. One of them's 40-something pages. Super simple. First one's Unleash Your Light. The second one is The Simple Spirituality of Self, which takes loving yourself unconditionally and breaks it down by all the emotions that can get in the way of that, and gives you kind of that time travel technique I talk about in the book, and following those vines down and ripping out the roots to these problems, to these incorrect core beliefs. So definitely go over there and check it out. I have some of my original music there, and you can listen to that as well. It's a little bluesy, it's a little poppy. I have some meditational type stuff on there. I'm going to be adding stuff all the time. And I have some swag over there too, some t-shirts and stuff, but you don't have to buy that stuff if you don't want to. All right, I'm here every Thursday at 10 a.m. right here on the Akashic Academy. And speaking of the Akashic Academy, if you would like to become a member of that exclusive secret group that's on the inside, you'll get extra stuff from our director, Emily Harrison. You'll get those Mindful Mondays from Nick. Emily does guided meditations and channeling and all kinds of things to lift our awareness. And this is just the beginning. Like, there are such big things planned. This is our brand new website at theakashicacademy.com. Make sure you put the in there, because we are the Akashic Academy. And you can join and be a member for $11.11 a month, or $100 for the year, which is a bargain. I'm a bargain shopper. Right now, you're watching us on the public page, and we have shows throughout the week. Emily is amazing and has brought together this great group of people. I'm so honored to be part of the people that are on this channel. So we were talking to Rena earlier. Oh, hi, Renee. We were talking to Rena earlier. She's on at noon Eastern time with the Rainbow Bridge. 7 o'clock tonight should be Andrea Jones, Stepnowski, or Andrea Jones. She's going to be on with Sacred Flow, Chakra Sacred Flow Chakra. I'm sorry, my mind just went and turned off what the name of her show is. But she's on at 7 o'clock today Eastern time. She's got great information also. And all week long, we have amazing stuff here. So I hope that you're going to come over and join us. I wish you guys so much love. Come join me on my couch in just a few minutes for the second half of Unleash Your Light. I love every single one of you. You can just search my name. I should pop right up. I should pop right up. If I don't pop up, look for Unleash Your Light, and you should be able to find me there in the page of the group, and it should have my name that you can just click on it, and you'll be there. I love you guys so much. My co-host loves you too. Wait, where'd he go? My co-host Q loves you too back there. And I will see you next Thursday. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Have a fabulous, fabulous time. And be self-aware. Pay attention to this stuff. It's so important for your development.